Right, so here we have Manhunt, quite an infamous game basically, because to my knowledge, I'm sure this game got banned when it first got released, and in certain countries, like I think it got banned in Australia, or they got like a really censored, watered down version of it, or something like that. But yeah, it got banned in quite a few countries. I can remember a lot of controversy about it when it first came out, and I mean, I can remember it like being in the newspapers and actually on the news on television and stuff like that. So yeah, I basically had to get it that Christmas that it was released. That game was on my list, and I got it. How does it play? It plays alright. It's kind of like a stealth, sneaky game. I'm sure most of you played it by now. If not, then yeah, give it a crack. I think you could pick it up quite easily. I don't think it goes for much, but yeah, it's quite a good game. It's made by Rockstar, so Rockstar. It's very rare that they make a bad game in it, Rockstar. So yeah, check it out, man. Enter the Matrix. Now, Enter the Matrix. Of course, I loved the first Matrix movie, and Reloaded was alright, and Revolutions was meh, whatever. But yeah, I always wanted to play a good Matrix game. So when Enter the Matrix came out, I just rushed out and bought it, as you do, as a fan of the movie would. But yeah, this was kind of not the game that I wanted as out of Matrix. They could have done a lot better with the Matrix franchise. This was kind of like a marketing ploy as well, because I don't know if you know, but the story of this game is kind of like a bridge from Matrix Reloaded to Matrix Revolutions. There's kind of a bit that they left out of the movie so that they could put it into this game as a storyline. Believe it or not, like you play as I think it's Niobe. I think she's called and he's called Ghost. You get to play as both of them throughout the storyline, but she's played by Jada Pinkett Smith, who actually was in Matrix Reloaded, like who had like a bit of a cameo in it. But yeah, the reason why she had a cameo in the film is because she was in this game, which is yeah, really weird. So they kind of made a game that bridged the two films together. Like it answered questions that weren't answered in the actual films. And when you actually complete this game, you get a preview of Matrix Revolutions, which of course wasn't released at this time. So you got like a preview trailer for it. Now this Matrix Path of Neo. Now this is the game that this game should have been. This is the game that I wanted out of the Matrix. You play as Neo, you get to do all the things Neo can do. You can stop bullets, you bend bullets. Basically, you go through like the storyline of Neo, where you start off with basically no powers, and then you become just the ultimate badass. It's a brilliant game. If you want to play a Matrix game, skip this one and pick this one up. This is the Matrix game that I was waiting for. Now here we have three of probably my favourite games on the actual system. First we'll start off with the Warriors, another Rockstar game, brilliant, based on the film. If you've never seen the film, go watch the film. I'm a big fan of the Warriors movie, so of course when this got released, the game, I thought, I'm having that bad boy, and I'm glad I did. This game, I think, is very underrated when it came out. It should have got more exposure, and yeah, more people should have been buying and playing this game. It's a really good game. Basically, it's set into two halves. The first kind of half of the game, you're playing like the build-up, how the Warriors came together as a gang and stuff like that, and their little adventures and exploits as the Warriors. And then the second half, you kind of play through the storyline of the movie. So it's really good, honestly. It's a very underrated game. If you've not played this, go play it. It's one of my favourite games on the PlayStation 2. Scarface, The World Is Yours. Another excellent game in my opinion. Yeah, again, a big fan of the movie. I've actually got it on DVD. Yeah, I was going to go fetch it, but I can't see it, so we'll leave that one. But trust me, I've got it on DVD. Yeah, big fan of Scarface. So, of course, when they released the game, I had to pick that up as well. It's an open world Scarface game as well, so and you can you go through a storyline that it's an alternative storyline. Like if you've ever seen Scarface, spoiler coming up if you've never seen Scarface, by the way. I imagine most of you have. But yeah, Tony Montana at the end of Scarface gets killed, don't he? Well, in this game, this is the alternative storyline. If he didn't die and he survived and got out of his mansion, what would have happened after that? And it's really good, and you've got like different kind of side quests. You can buy things for your mansion, you can do drug deals, and you can like smuggle them on boats and stuff like that. It's a really good game. Honestly, if you've never played this, then go out and buy it. I imagine it's cheap. Then we've got Yakuza. This is a game that I've not really played a lot of, and this is why I want to get my PlayStation 2 set back up again, because this is a game that I started to play, then I kind of got distracted by another game, so I never really got that far into it. And as I'm aware, isn't this supposed to be the spiritual successor to Shenmue? Which is a game that I've never played, by the way. I've never played Shenmue or Shenmue 2. And that's because it's on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast is one of those systems that I don't mind watching other people pick up for it, but me myself, I have no nostalgia to that system at all. I have no interest in it, of collecting for it myself. It's not a system that I had, and it's not a system that I plan on getting back. Although, I have thought about it because I really want to play these Shenmue games. Because everybody just bigs them up. I've not heard one bad word about Shenmue games. So I really want to play them, because if it's in the same vein as Yakuza, but apparently better, then I want to play that game. But I've actually thought about picking up a Dreamcast just to play those games, but I don't really think I can justify picking up a console just to play 2 games. But it is there, the thought is there, just picking them up, playing Shenmue 2, and then selling them on after I've played it, like with the console. But we'll see how it goes. So now we come on to the Grand Theft Auto series. One of the best franchises ever made, in my opinion. I think, again, is Grand Theft Auto kind of a Marmite game? There's people that seem to really hate this kind of game, and then there's people like me that absolutely adore this game. Yeah, I just think it's brilliant. I used to have Grand Theft Auto 3 as well, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So I think that I must have borrowed it out some like many moons ago and never got it back. But that's probably one of the games that I'll be getting back into the collection, is the Grand Theft Auto 3, because that's kind of what kicked it all off. That was one of the first games that I got with my PlayStation 2. So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting that back into the collection. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I don't think they need much explanation, just 2 brilliant games. Grand Theft Auto Vice City is my favourite entry in the series so far. A lot of people will disagree, they like San Andreas. San Andreas was obviously, like, it had a lot more to do in it. Do you know what I mean? You could customise your character, and you could buy this and that, and you could work out and feed your character, and all that kind of extra stuff. It was really good. Obviously, you got it was a lot bigger map as well. But yeah, I just like the setting of Vice City more. I like the storyline, I like the characters, and yeah, that old 80s soundtrack and stuff. That 80s soundtrack is just fucking amazing, basically. So yeah, that's them games. And carrying on with the Grand Theft Auto theme, I've got Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories. Basically, yeah, like I say, big GTA fan, so I had to get these when they came out as well. If you don't know, though, that these games are basically just ported from the PSP. But at the time, I didn't have a PSP, so I had to wait for the PlayStation 2 ones to come out. Basically, these are just set in the same time. Like, this one's set in the same, like, kind of map as Grand Theft Auto 3, and this one is basically Vice City. You basically just get different characters, different storylines. Like I say, the PSP ports. And because there was PSP ports as well, on brand new on release, these only retailed at around 20 quid. That was when they were brand new, 20 quid on release, because there was PSP ports. So yeah, and they're really good games as well. So yeah, if you've never played them, pick them up. They're worth picking up. If you're a GTA fan, then they're worth picking up for your collection. So now we move on to the Need for Speed franchise. So Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Underground 2, and then underneath, Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon. So yeah, here's my opinion on the Need for Speed series. The games that was released on the PlayStation 2 were all good. There was all nice playable games. And then every Need for Speed title since has got worse. Has gradually just got worse and worse until the latest game is almost unplayable. So yeah, Need for Speed Underground, this game I raped the shit out of when I first got it. Loved it. So of course when the sequel came out, had to get that too. Now this for me is the pinnacle of the franchise. This is this game, but with everything extra that you wanted in this game. So that is the pinnacle. I've played this game so many times. I have about 6 different save files for this game, because that's how many times I played through it. This is one of the games that I always pick up as well. If I go back to the PlayStation 2, whenever I've got it set up, then this is normally the game that I pick up first, just to have a blast on it or something like that. I love this game, played through it so many times. So yeah, and then after that, I can't remember which one of these came out first. I think it might have been this one, and then Carbon. Carbon's good, Most Wanted's good, both good playable games, but yeah, compared to this, I think they kind of went down a bit. This is going towards my theory that since Underground 2, every Need for Speed game has gradually gone downhill. But yeah, all the ones on the PlayStation 2, like I say, were playable games. And then all the ones, like the current gen ones, I've had Need for Speed Pro Street, didn't like that. Didn't like Need for Speed Underground. Not Underground, Undercover. Thought that was absolutely shit. The Run, I've heard bad things about that. It's not very good either. So yeah, they've just gradually gone downhill, the Need for Speed series. It needs to pick its game up again. I mean, how do you make a PlayStation 2 game this good and not be able to build upon it and improve it for the next gen? How do you get worse on next gen? I just don't understand it. And have you played the new game? I actually own the new game, but I can't see it, otherwise I'd show you on camera, but believe me, I do have it. I got it for Christmas, and it's titled the same as this game, yeah? The new Need for Speed game is called Need for Speed Most Wanted. This is Need for Speed Most Wanted. Why didn't you give it a new title? That's my first complaint about it. The second complaint about it is that game is unplayable. Believe me, it is unbelievably broken. There is no point in if you want to pick up that game, pass on it. Unless you're going for a full Xbox 360 collection, skip that game. Do not pick that game up. It is bollocks. Words cannot describe how unplayable that game is. The car handling on it feels like you are handling a feather. I know it's supposed to be arcadey, but these games you have control over your car. And that, you just spend the whole game crashing over and over again. There seems to be no real storyline to it of why you're racing the cars. And another thing is, you seem to start off with all the best cars as well. So what's the goal? You've got nothing to build up to. I mean, you normally start off with a shitty car and then you build up to the better cars. What's the point in starting off in the best car? Oh yeah, just skip the new Most Wanted on the 360, or is it multi-platform? I'm sure it's multi-platform in it. So PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, skip that game. If you want to play Most Wanted, pick up the PlayStation 2 version of Most Wanted, because that is actually a good game. But yeah, if you want to play the ultimate, either pick up Underground or Underground 2, which is the pinnacle. So we've got The Godfather, Medal of Honor Frontline, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. So start with The Godfather, absolutely brilliant game, one of my favourite games on the system. Again, this is another game that I have played through, and I'm not kidding you, I played through it about 5 or 6 times. It is brilliant. A game based on a movie, this is how it should be done. This is how you do it properly. This game is absolutely brilliant. If you're into your mafia kind of games, this is it. You get to customise your character, you play kind of like loosely based on the movie through the storyline, and yeah, you can do other things, you can take over businesses and stuff like that. It's really good. It's open world city again, and it's just done really well. I've got the sequel to this as well, Godfather Part 2 on the Xbox 360, and it's nowhere near as good as the original. Honestly, again, if you want a movie kind of based game that's done well, pick up The Godfather. So now, Medal of Honor Frontline. This game is brilliant. Love this game. This is like, it starts off like Saving Private Ryan, you know, where you're running up the beach and you've got like all the bullets whizzing past your head and shit like that. Absolutely amazing game. There is another game as well that did this, which I found out recently. I think Sean Sidious let me in on it, but I thought this game was the only game that did that kind of reenactment from Saving Private Ryan, but apparently there was another game as well. But yeah, anyway, moving on, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. I love the Medal of Honor series, to be honest with you. So yeah, I picked up Rising Sun. It's not as good. This is like more based on Pearl Harbor. Like I say, this is like kind of based on like Saving Private Ryan kind of setting. But yeah, that one's absolutely brilliant. That's a good game, but that one's absolutely brilliant. And this is another thing that I want to talk about. Another one of those franchises that I've now kind of fell out of love with, because Medal of Honor, it's gone the same way with Call of Duty, innit? Like, Medal of Honor was always games set in the World War II era, and now they've kind of gone modern, aren't they? Because what's the new one? I mean, they've got like is it Warfighter, and then they've got that other one. Is it Tier 2 or something like that? What was the other one? Cannot remember the title of the other game, but they've kind of gone modern, aren't they? Like Call of Duty went to Modern Warfare, but we've kind of got used to it with Call of Duty now. That's what Call of Duty is now. That is kind of like modern day war simulators, whatever you want to say, first person shooters, war. But what we need is a good franchise of World War II set first person shooters again. And Medal of Honor, for me, always did it well. So why don't they go back to the roots? Medal of Honor, go back to your roots and go back to World War II and give us a first person World War II shooter again. Because they was brilliant. I'm not really bothered about the modern warfares and stuff like that. And the modern time shooters. Give me a good World War II game again. The Medal of Honor games always used to do them well.